Interior Minister Prosper Bani has tasked security services to deal with any person or groups fomenting trouble ahead of the December 7 elections. Some pockets of violence have been recorded in some areas in the past few days. Mr. Bani believes such disturbances are the work of rogues who are testing the pulse of the police, hence the directive. He was speaking at a meeting of regional commanders of the Ghana Police Service on Thursday at the police headquarters in Accra.
We will not countenance any rogue activities. And indeed, you will all realize that rogue elements are beginning to test the pulse of the police. They are in a rehearsal mood. And therefore, you should treat any rogue activity from today as a disturbance towards the preparations for the elections. And therefore, your heightened presence at all places, your determination to be very professional, and also to ensure that citizens go about their duties within the rules and laws of this country. To ensure that the citizens of this country will continue to have confidence in the leadership of the Ghana Police Service to provide us with the necessary security that we seek on a daily basis. I want to reiterate that with the capacity we have, with the preparations that is still ongoing, that these elections coming on the 7th of December will come to pass as the last 6 elections we've had in this country. However, I'd like to take this opportunity one more time to give a stern warning to all groups, all individuals that are now preparing to disturb the peace before the elections and during the elections, that our men and women, the security forces and the intelligence services are prepared to deal with them and deal with them according to the laws of this country.
The service also launched its election education materials to be distributed to its officers and the populace ahead of the elections. The materials include flyers, posters and manuals. This was done in collaboration with the United Kingdom, and UK Ambassador to Ghana, John Benjamin, questioned why vigilante groups are permitted to operate in the country and reiterated the embassy's threat to refuse visas to anyone who foments trouble.
There should be no role for so-called party vigilante groups. Indeed, we think that such groups are wholly incompatible with democracy in the 21st century. And yes, we have said, and I repeat here, that we will consider visa bans on anyone behind violence by any such groups or anyone who otherwise heightens tension through intimidation, provocation, incitement or hate speech.
Now, the Ghana Police Service is advising politicians not to run down its work with unsavory comments. Some persons have questioned the preparedness of the police ahead of the December elections, especially after Sunday's incident at the Nima residence of the NPP presidential candidate Nana Akufo-Addo. Some people have accused the police of not acting swiftly in that instance, but in a sharp rebuttal, head of the election task force of the Ghana Police Service, Chief Superintendent Benjamin Agojo, said such statements are treacherous. He asked the political parties to concentrate on their core duties and leave the police to do its job. He spoke to Joy News' Hannah Odame.
One thing we must know as a nation is that such conflicts during electioneering campaign periods are bound to happen. The only thing is whether we have mechanisms in place to control them.
Even before the elections, I'm sure you have witnessed some pockets of violence, if I should put it that way, in some parts of the region, Recently, that was just at Sunday, we saw what happened in front of the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. We have seen what has happened to some of the NCCE debates. We have seen what happened at Ododo-Diodio. Did they come to you as a surprise? Were you ready?
We mentioned Ododo-Diodio. Are we handling it? Yes. The regional commander is on top of it. He has invited those who are involved. Some invitations have been made and they are investigating. you mention some other places, and you realize that we are working on them. I will not say that we have finished with it and that we are so prepared that nothing will happen. No, that is utopian. Police have put in place mechanisms to counteract everything or any situation that arises.
But we've been expecting, a lot of Ghanaians have been expecting the police to come out with a form of a response to what happened in these areas, as a form of an assurance that should anything extra than that happens on election day or after that, you will be ready. We haven't yet had that.
Hannah, police has always been assuring members of the public, and I've been speaking to you and assuring you and giving you instances and steps that we've taken in many of these instances. What we must understand when it comes to politics is that police are always the easiest scapegoats. People will want to blame police as a kind of defense mechanism to do whatever they want to do. So today it is the police, tomorrow it is the police. Every political party is blaming the police. If you run down the police and police are unable to handle your situations, then you are running down the country. That's what you must understand. And in every circumstance, we cannot say we are perfect. We are doing our best. They should just stop running down the police institution.
Are you saying this because you think that any of the political parties have run you down?
Far from that, I know they have been criticizing us. Everybody thinks that we didn't do well. Tell us, police, you could have done this, you could have done that, you could have done this. But you see, don't go and bring isolated instances, pack them together and say, you didn't do this, that's why my people are doing this. The political parties have to talk to their party members. They have a lot more duties to perform, to do. They have duty to show their personnel how to vote so that we reduce the spoiled votes. These are some of their responsibilities they should go ahead and do. They have to talk to their people when they are going for work. They must know what to do and what not to do. They should not leave every responsibility to the police. You see, it is just like saying police must do this, police ought to do this, police should not have allowed this to happen. But what have you done yourselves? I'm doing mine, they should also do theirs. And if everybody does their responsibility, I tell you, we'll have a peaceful election.
The Chief of Staff is asking the youth, especially students in tertiary institutions, to guard against being lured into electoral violence this year. Julius Deborah warned victims of political violence would not only be neglected by their paymasters, but also be forced to pay a heavy price for their actions that affect their future. Ohime Interior report.
It's not about insults.
The Chief of Staff asked the youth to adopt modern ways of political discourse, devoid of insults and attacks on political opponents. He addressed students at the Komfo Anochi Nursing Training School in Kumasi to wrap up activities on the first day of his 4-day campaign tour of the region.
Politics is not about insults, neither is politics about who can fight. Because as I stand before you, as the Chief of Staff to the President, when I wake up in the morning, I never go to his house to say, Mr. President, because I'm your Chief of Staff, I want to have breakfast with you. In the same way, if you also go to follow any politician who directs you to go and misbehave, who directs you to go and fight someone, and you get hurt, trust you me, the best they can do for you is just to come and visit you while you're on your hospital bed. I am therefore using this occasion to advise and encourage everybody. We are in the 21st century. Life has moved on. When time changes, please be encouraged and change.
His comments come after a group of students at the Komfo Anochi Nursing Training School dressed in NPP paraphernalia nearly disrupted a scheduled meeting between the Chief of Staff and the students on campus. Members of the anti-NDC group shouted from nearby students' hostel as Ashanti Regional Minister Alexander Akon and the Chief of Staff addressed the students. That notwithstanding, Mr. Deborah has asked NDC supporters on campus not to retaliate the action of their colleagues from the NPP.
Let me advise all the NDC supporters on this campus that anytime the new patriotic party comes here to organize a program, please never misbehave towards them.
Well, the flag bearer of the NDC himself, President John Mahama, he is in the Upper West region and he has been defending the National Health Insurance Scheme. He says it has expanded and not collapsed, as speculated by the opposition New Patriotic Party. He is in Wechau, from where Rafiq Salam, our correspondent, he joins me on the line. Good evening to you, Rafiq.
Good evening, Israel.
All right, where else has the president been and what has he been up to?
The president first visited Durumo, where he met members of the Durumo Traditional Council this evening. And then also from there, he proceeded to the water project, which is being funded from a loan facility from Exim Bank, which cost the nation close to about $51.5 million. And then after that, the president said he was satisfied with the work done so far because the project is almost complete. And then also he came back to Chao, where he met the traditional leaders and also met members of the NDC party. And it was there that the president said that contrary to the perception that the health insurance scheme was collapsing, it isn't true. He talks about the number of subscribers or members of the health insurance scheme, which have moved close to about 12 million people. And he's also talking about the number of diseases which is being treated by the health insurance scheme, and he numbered that up to 550 diseases that the health insurance scheme is taking care of in Ghana, unlike other health insurance schemes in Africa. And then he also talked about the NDC and assured the supporters that he was in the race and he will be the one that will be chosen by Ghanaians come December 7th. And he says he assured the people that you go to some regions like Western region, Asante region, and also Eastern region, the NDC is doing well, and he thinks that he has no doubt that Ghanaians will retain him for another term.
Now, Rafiq, how about the Wa airstrip? I believe the president was supposed to inaugurate it.
It was not part of the itinerary of the president, so I was even shocked that when we heard news that the president was supposed to come there to commission this particular project. But I can tell you that the project is in good shape. Engineer consultants working on the project are really finished and it's good to be commissioned. And then the other project that was not on the list on the itinerary of the president happens to be this Jamboso water project, which the president made a surprise visit. And then when they saw the president didn't say anything about the water airstrip. But that was where he landed. It's in good shape and they have finished the work there.
All right. Is it the case that we can expect flights, domestic flights, to take off and land at the airport?
Yes, already flights, that's the airport and the airstrip used by President. Also, it has never been used by commercial flight. But they're thinking from the consultants that it's ready, and at any moment from now, you can now have flights coming from Accra and also going to Accra. So that every time I come to Accra, I wouldn't be having that headache.
All right. And at that point, I'm coming to visit you in Wa.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah,
all right. Thank you very much, Rafiq Salam. That's it. We'll bring you international news next.